Solving America's Problems. Dave, DC Conley, and myself, we're back to review markets, manipulation, money, portfolio, and politics. We're doing it all. How was your weekend, Dave? 250-year celebration of the oldest democracy on this planet. Did you have a good time?
Amazing. Yeah, I got a great view of the fireworks that go off here in Miami, and they went off really, really late because of the FIFA stuff. FIFA.
Yep, FIFA.
They went off at like 11 o'clock, but it was supposed to go off at 11 o'clock. It ended up going off after 12 o'clock, and I was taking a look at what the barges were going on, and there was like guys walking all over it, and you know things aren't going well when guys are walking all over the fireworks boat. But really, really cool show, and I'll send you a quick video of like the time lapse of all of the boats leaving. That was actually the biggest show. So yeah, I had a great time. How about you?
Heck yeah. Yeah, man. Me and the family are in Bend, Oregon for another 29 hours or so, and we're going to be heading back down to Nashville. Beautiful, stunning city. Probably going to pick up a house here. Wow. That's maybe at some point. Man, stunning. Just really, really, really beautiful town. Love it. Having a blast.
Amazing.
They had a pet parade on the 4th of July. So the boys got to pet a bunch of doggos.
Love it.
Yeah,
was there any like
cool.
weird pets? Did somebody like have their pig or like?
Oh yeah, dude. Pigs, donkeys, miniature horses,
Oh.
goats. Yeah, it was cool. It was
Fantastic.
fun. Yeah, it was a good time.
All right, what's going on with our money?
Non-farm payrolls are out. So, unemployment's at 4.2%, which has to feel low. I feel like it is. Dow closed at a record 52,907 cents. And the NASDAQ fell a little bit right before the market closed on Thursday. But so far right now, the Dow Jones is still slowly creeping higher. It made a new all-time high today, 53,058. Yeah, incredible. So I know it's going to sound crazy, but I think we're going to keep going higher. I keep saying that. I'm just looking at the charts, looking at the sentiment. People haven't started selling their houses and getting HELOCs out and buying stocks aggressively yet. There's still a few stocks that feel pretty high to me, like SanDisk and Micron, that seem like reasonable to have some pullbacks. But the broad market, general scheme of things, looks like everything's going to kind of slowly keep climbing up, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. We're doing it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I talked to you, right? I thought it was like 2 years ago. It's like, there's no way it could keep on going higher. But if you listen to me, you wouldn't have made any money, right? Politically, I think looking at the non-farm payroll and all of that, sure, I think, the headlines make sensation. But the thing I look at is what I think is the cleanest data is people who are putting in for unemployment benefits. It's reported by the states. It's reported every single week. And that's at lows. And that's really showing what's going on. Like right now, they report it every single week. People are working. Even if they're losing their jobs, they're getting jobs again. I think, the AI story, I think is different because, what's the size of that as far as like the Dow or the NASDAQ go? It's like 40% or more of what it is or I don't know. It's like a lot, right?
Yeah.
So like, when one of those goes tits up, like we're all going to pay for it. So I think that's sort of like the endemic risk to everything. And I think about like politically, what are you going to do? In 2008, with the housing crisis, the Fed could actually do something. With all of these, with the AI, Fed doesn't go out and buy stocks or, take on, chat GPT and be like, okay, like now it's owned by the government, or does it? Has it ever seized like a private company or what? I don't know. That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I think in the last 10 years, if I said, hey, that's weird, I mean, like if aliens landed out back, I wouldn't be like, hey, that's weird. I'd be like, yeah, well, welcome to 2026. So maybe not. Maybe I just answered my own question.
Yeah, kind of in a way, man, you did. That's really what's been happening because again, the Federal Reserve is not federal, nor is it a reserve.
Right.
And since it's not federal, Trump would love to boss them around. He can't. However, that is what the inner parties will use to, buy shares. The Federal Reserve can buy pretty much anything that's public.
Really?
Yes. And they do
All
it
right.
all the time. They buy mortgages, they buy bonds, they buy publicly traded companies very frequently. And again, that's probably like the largest transfer of wealth I've ever seen is, oh, you're going to become a liquid multimillionaire? Yeah, just become a congressman or senator. And chat closely with chat closely with the Fed and have a good conversation and figure out who needs to buy what and what needs to be pumped up and all those. Yes, it's kind of crazy. And the American government can do the same. The American government, I don't generally actually know the exact institution that is buying them when people say the American government, but it generally is the Federal Reserve. However, the American government is still buying openly companies, and Trump shares his portfolio on a monthly basis on Twitter. This is what I'm buying. This is what stocks. I mean, he's telling people what he's doing. Like Palantir, he keeps getting on saying like, "Hey, Palantir is going to go higher. I'm buying it."
Dell, buy a Dell computer.
Buy a Dell computer. Great company, great machine, great guy. Really wild what's going on out there. But just looking at the trends and what is happening until that we get to that massive hysteria, like what happened with SpaceX. That is a microcosm of what it looks like when markets are too high, because they come out and everyone gets super, super, super excited, and it does go higher. Right? It does. So if, for example, SpaceX, you go back to Friday, June 12th, we open at 150 and we were up to 220 in 3 days. That's a 45% move on already one of the largest companies in the world, top 10 largest companies on planet Earth, brand new company. Hey, now we're the biggest. 45% move. Is trading like a penny stock. But then it goes from 220 all the way back down to 150. And again, 3 days. So it round trips itself in 3 days. That is wild town. But that's what it feels like when stocks are in this hyperbolic extension of price action. Is everyone sees it, is very obvious. Everyone buys it. Everyone posts on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram, and then at some point there's a pretty quick reversal, and that'll happen. It'll happen at some stage in the economy, but until then, man, I don't know. That's why I'm gonna keep my finger on the pulse pretty closely and do my absolute best to just kind of guide people and give people my perspective on when and how they can participate on both the upside and the downside.
Baller.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? What are your stocks that you're all focused on this week?
Let's do it. Do a quick screen share. One of the ones I actually am in SpaceX bullish at the present moment. And I have a very large bear position if we go lower than 147. We don't have to, but I'm certainly interested if we do. But one of the ones I'm certainly keeping an eye on and I am accumulating right now is SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. Really nice like consolidation down here. I mean, it's essentially been the same price since February of 2026. A lot of other companies have rallied out of this one, and it's being held up nicely by the 100 simple moving average on a weekly chart, which if we come back over to this price over here in 2023, 2024, we can see how well that curve kept it up. And again, if you were buying shares, you were simply buying shares for a year before it had a beautiful push. And that's a very, very well, 100% return.
Yeah.
Right. That can happen again. It wouldn't have to go very far from where it is now to essentially 36 to make another 100% return. That can happen. And again, if you're accumulating around 17, 16, 18, I think that's very, very likely. So this is the one that I am accumulating shares of. Oklo, I'm still short. So this is a publicly traded company, Dave, that again, talk about a conspiracy theory that makes $0. So their revenue is zero. You can see
that's not a conspiracy. That's just fact. What conspiracy is that?
How are they public? They make no money. They're worth. They have no income.
What do they pretend to do? What kind of no show job do they do?
Yes, that's the question, Dave. Thank you. What do they pretend to do? So they pretend to make nuclear energy that powers data centers for 10 years from now. So they'll do it one day. But anyway, I'm short on Oklo. I buy puts pretty much anytime it goes up. because I think it's going to go lower. Tesla, obviously, I look at Tesla all the time. They had a really beautiful drop, big drop on Thursday. They announced deliveries, and very frequently they go down when they announce deliveries. So they had 4 big up days in a row. Tesla's still very volatile, went up 14%, then had a 8% down day on Thursday, and then today is like an inside candle. Robinhood, still very interested in Robinhood. I still think it's going to go very easily to 132, but probably 150 is very possible. I'm keeping a close eye on Robinhood having a little bit of a pullback at some stage down into 105, 106, and then continuation higher. But if it pulls back to 102 again, that would just be super, super ideal and optimal. And then last but not least, there's a company called Penguin, which Penguin Solutions. It's a cool name. My sister likes penguins a lot, so I bought some of the shares for her. She's a big fan of penguins. They have earnings Tuesday night.
What did they do? Are they just put the penguins to work? Like, wait, what's Penguin do?
So instead of robots, they hire penguins to run on treadmills. No, I'm kidding.
Fantastic.
They're a semiconductor memory chip manufacturer. So they're benefiting from the big AI. Oh, we need chips. Everyone needs chips. Need semiconductor chips, processing chips, computer chips, video card chips. So they're another one of those plays.
Okay, cool. I think that's our week. But politically, things are quiet.
They are quiet. They quieted down with the whole Strait of Hormuz thing, huh?
Hey, good news. People are talking, and I always prefer talking. Equipment is moving out. I love that. It is still very, very fragile. I'm not calling doom and gloom on this, but it's still 3 people, basically 3 people, three countries that are still talking. Only 2 of them are kind of talking. One of them is ignoring. Israel is just saying, "Yeah, we're not talking to anybody." So it's fragile, and it wouldn't be surprising if it popped off. Who knows when, right? I saw Kepler, which is the big analysis company that looks at oil, is saying that the oil that's coming out of that area is going up, up, and up, and up, which is great. I think there's some disconnect for me in some of that data, but I'm going to pay attention to the experts on that. That's fine. Great. Oil's coming out. Oil is down, as far as West Texas Intermediate. So yeah, hey, thumbs up. I think Ukraine and Russia and NATO, Europe is an absolute dumpster fire. And it does not get enough play here in the United States. It is an absolute dumpster fire. It is very, very dangerous. It is very critical that stays contained. And it's not. Nobody is talking to the Russians. The Ukrainians aren't talking to anybody. So it's just people shooting at each other. Same, right? Like, until we see movement there, then it's going to continue to be like a major risk for Europe and for the world. So that's something. The other political thing that's going on, of course, this is my Super Bowl season, which is all the primaries going on. We're seeing a real, I would say, fight going on with the Democrats, and they've desperately needed this fight for 10 years. And that is more progressive candidates winning over corporate Democrats. And it's happening in Maine. It happened in New York. It's happening in Michigan. It happened in Colorado. It happened some in California. So progressives that are coming out, and these are nationalists. Like these are. You would have called them Trump supporters 10 years ago. These are people who are very America first, and they're also saying that the middle class, they are the Democrats of the 70s and the 80s. So and they get painted with this big socialism, paintbrush. I think that's unfair. I think they're just saying, hey, everybody has got, the vast majority of people have kind of gotten a raw deal, and, all of this money has been going one direction. And it's like, hey, you can't not talk about healthcare. You can't not talk about retirement and jobs and how the impact of AI and all this stuff. And so that they're at least creating the discussion, and that could be a voting block, just like the Tea Party was in 2011 and 2012. Coming into into next year. And so I'm going to watch that very, very closely. And I think that could actually benefit both the left and the right of having this voting block come in and say, hey, there's a pile of people who aren't being paid attention to. So they are wiping the floor with establishment Democrats. So that's it on the political front. Anything else that we got to watch out for this week as far as money goes, or are we set?
We're good. Yeah, the general premise is going to be buy dips, stay long. The summer is generally kind of boring, but it's boring and higher. So don't push the pedal too aggressively. Buy shares, do covered calls, sell puts, wait, or just wait. If you bought a dip, if you have some redness or some bearishness out there in the market, buy it and just let it do its thing. Let it chop around and let it hang out. Because right now, yeah, we're just kind of status quo. It's going to slowly keep going up and to the right.
There we go.
There we go. Thanks so much for watching and listening. You are awesome. Share it with friends. Tell us what you want to see. We're open to feedback. How can we help? How can we give more value? How can we pour into you, make you feel more seen, noticed, heard, loved, and supported?
Till next time.